Hello, welcome to our channel. My name's Jo, and if this is your first time watching one of our videos, I and my husband and 2 kids live in an off-grid yurt in the Pacific Northwest. There is no electricity in the house whatsoever, like tied to the grid or anything. We don't have solar, we don't have hydroelectro or anything now. We use rechargeable batteries and stuff like that. And we do have a few cheats that have to do with the neighbors next door, but I'll get into that later. But I thought I would give a tour of our yurt and describe some of our key systems and some of the things that make life unique and possible for us out here. So I managed to choose a particularly rainy and cloudy day to film this, apparently, but it was one of the few days that the house was actually clean and tidy, and, you know, we all want to give our best foot forward, right? Let's see here. So here is the outside of our yurt. As you can see, we live in the woods and it is very, very wet right now. Oh, this is one of our dogs. Hey, Winnie. She's a Pyrenean Mastiff and she thinks she's a guard dog, but she likes to sleep through everything. So you walk up our path, and this is technically our front door, but as of now, we're not using it for regular access. I'll explain why in a bit. So we're using our back door. I got some stepping stones here, which the dogs like to dig up and deconstruct the whole yard. My husband built these steps to our porch, and it's covered, you can see, and that's our new grill. We got a new grill for my husband's birthday, so this is where we do a lot of our baking and grilling of food and whatnot. So come on in to our back door. So this is currently what we're using as our entryway and also our bathroom. So the reason we decided to use this door instead of the front door right now is because we have a crawling baby and we wanted to keep that mud on this side of the baby gate on the waterproof floor so that we can take off our shoes and keep all the mud and yuck and wet in this room instead of in the main living space where the baby is crawling. So there's our back door. It's a little tight getting in, but it's not bad. We've got all our shoes and our coats here, some bathroom paraphernalia. It also doubles as our utility room, so we keep the vacuum and the mop and the broom in here, and also our composting toilet. And then you come in here into the main part of the yurt where we've got, I guess I didn't clean up all the way, did I? We've got the toddlers' play stuff, some books, a chair, and the couch. And this is my treadle sewing machine, so it is foot powered. It works great, does everything I need it to do. I'm actually working on a quilt right now. Got a bunch of stuff cut out. So here's actually the official front door, where before we had the baby we were using it as the front door, so that's where all the nice coat racks are. But as you can see, there's not a ton of space, so the baby frequently ends up over in this area, and it would just get full of mud and debris and whatnot, and we just didn't want to be so worried about constantly having to clean that up. So for now we're coming in through there. And then our kitchen is over here. Let's see, what's the best way to show this off? I don't have a wide enough angled lens for this. We got those cabinets from a friend who was remodeling their kitchen. They came already set up, and it happens to be a little bit deeper than standard cabinets, so we have a little extra counter space. And my husband raised it up on extra boards to make storage underneath, so we have like extra food and stuff under there. He built these shelves, so we have some dishes and some food goods and whatnot. That is our filter. It looks just like a Berkey filter, but it's actually, what brand is that? Pro 1. I just liked the filters better on that, and I can leave a link to that below if anyone's interested. We have our camp stove in here for summertime when we don't have the wood stove going, and also it just cooks a lot faster than anything does on the wood stove. So if we want to like fry an egg really fast or pancakes and whatnot, anything we want to do really fast we do on this stove. Anything that you don't mind taking a while. The water kettles are always on this stove. Anything we want to like slow cook, that goes on this stove. And then we've got kind of our pantry here. And then this is our refrigerator. And we've got stuff in there. We use these 2 jugs are full of ice, and we switch them out with with other jugs that are in the freezer in the neighbor's shop. More on that later. This is our sink. Just finished doing dishes this morning, so we obviously hand wash all our dishes. There is plumbing under here. My husband rigged up a gray water drainage that I think you might be able to see. It goes to a little, what do you call it? A gray water disposal area out here, anyway. And that is actually, that's our propane tank with an extension tube that goes up to here. So the propane for this stove is outside. Any propane changes happen outside, so I'm not worried about like having gas filling up the house every time we switch out the bottles. Yeah, so this sink does drain. We have draining water, but we don't have running water. So we do have to haul in our water from next door, from the tap next door, and we just use this 3-gallon jug here to keep everything filled up, or we'll just bring the kettles next door sometimes and fill those up. But that's how we heat our hot water, on our stove, or in the summertime on the camp chef there. And then we've got this shelf which doubles as our ladder to get up into the loft. Let's see if I can back up enough to get a good view of that. That's me and my husband's bed up there. Let's see if I can get up there with the camera. It's a little bit of a trick, but you get used to it. Yeah, so there's our bed. You can just barely stand up right here in the corner, but you gotta crawl around the rest of it. It's not bad. It suits our needs. I mean, all we do up here is sleep anyway, so yeah, it works out good for us. And we've got our foldable clothes back there. And then the other room is our daughter's room. Daughters, plural. We have 2 daughters. We've got the household closet right here. So that's the kids' hanging clothes and mine and my husband's clothes. My 3-year-old's bed, and the majority of her toys are underneath there. We've got my trunk right here, which has a lot of the extra bedding, mostly for the kids' beds at this point. And then the baby's bed, she's 8 months old and just switched over to the floor bed. And then changing station and kids' wardrobe. There's not quite enough light in here for it to focus. Come on. There we go. A little bit of extra storage for some socks and bibs and stuff in there. I believe, you can't really see it in this light, but there's extra shoes down there as well. Yeah, so that's the kids' room. And that's just about it. It's not huge, but it meets all of our needs. You try to utilize the wall space as much as possible. You can't hang anything super heavy, but like the guitar can go up there, and the basins can go up there, and we hang a lot of the cast iron on the wall. And I did build this laundry rack, which is actually super handy. You can fit quite a lot on it. The only problem is we do, because it's such a small space, have a lot of condensation that happens. Like these windows and these windows here, they're just like, you know, single pane essentially. I mean, that's a vinyl plastic, so it does tend to condensate a lot, so we try to keep the line drying in here to a minimum. And that dome up there, let's see if it'll focus, yeah, it does open with that dome opener pole, so we can try to vent out as much steam as we can, especially when we have the wood stove really cranking, like after we've done the dishes and we're creating a lot of steam with that, or if we boil something, or if clothes drying, we try to keep the wood stove going really hot and let most of the steam out the dome when we can. So I guess I should talk about what electricity we do have and how we like have a freezer and everything. So this is a computer charger thing technically, so you plug it into power, this thing charges up, and then you can plug stuff into it to charge. And it has like those in the back. So technically if we had something that didn't take up a ton of power at once, we could use it in there. We charge our phones out here, I can charge the camera batteries out here, stuff like that. And then when that is empty, we take it over to the shop to charge that. So let me show you the shop. So when we go back out the back door, hello Pam. This is our other dog, Pam. She's a good girl. She's very wiggly. when you go out the back door, you can see the neighbor's shop right over there. And they also happen to be my parents. We live next door to my parents, and they are absolutely amazing and super supportive of our off-grid journey. And they let us use their shop. We are currently using their shower because we have not developed our own showering system yet. Ugh, it is so wet out here. So we've got, there's the yurt over there. Got a little path over our bridge this way to the shop. Hello! Hello. Here's our freezer right here. We have a washing machine in here. We technically have a dryer, but it's not actually hooked up. We don't have dryer hookups out here yet. There's the baby. I'm not going to show faces. But we have a dehydrator out here, and they're working on some apples, it looks like, right now. I do a lot of air drying stuff in here, and then some other of our belongings that didn't fit in the yurt or we haven't made a space for yet. All of our jars and canned goods are on this side. And then my husband's workbench here, so he's able to charge his power tools and stuff. He's got his little battery banks set up over here. And I also have a computer out here to do editing, blogging, all that kind of stuff. My parents and my sister and her husband have the rest of the shop with their belongings and stuff over there. So we park our cars just out front here, and then usually just walk around through there to get to the yurt, which you can kind of see through the trees there. So that's the exceptions to our off-grid lifestyle. We do have some on-the-grid amenities within walking distance that make our life much, much easier at this point. We've only been on the property for not quite 2 years. We're a year and a half in the yurt. We were living with my parents before that while we were building it. So our plan is eventually to build a cabin further into the woods. That's a video for another day. So we haven't taken the time and money to build like a shower house kind of thing somewhere, just because we want to have that next to the cabin eventually, and we don't want to spend a bunch of time and money building it twice. So for right now, like I said, my parents are awesome, and they let us use their shower and their shop and their dishwasher sometimes when I've got a lot of dishes to do. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, for light, you could see kind of in the kids' room, we've got these like twinkle lights up there. We've got some oil lamps. This one here is really nice. It puts off a pretty good glow. And we also have twinkle lights on the perimeter all the way around the main section of the yurt. Our other primary lighting sources are these little solar lanterns. They're super handy and they put out a lot of nice light. And then for big light in here, we use this Milwaukee flashlight with the rechargeable battery, and it shines, well, it's not showing in here very well, you can kind of see it. It shines up on the roof, which is white, and then that reflects back into the rest of the living space really well and makes plenty of light to see by, enough to work by, anything that's not detailed work. I mean, obviously the wood stove is our heat source. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed our tour of our little off-grid yurt, and if you have questions about what we do or how we do it, or anything you'd like to see or hear more about, I'm hoping to make more videos in the future talking about different things, but I'd love to make videos about things that you guys want to hear about, because as you can tell, I'm kind of rambling. I don't necessarily know what's interesting and what's not about our life, just because I'm living it, so it's all normal to me, you know what I mean? So something that I might not think is all that interesting, you guys might be like, oh wow, like I want to hear more about that, like how does a composting toilet work? Or things that I might think are interesting, you guys are like, no, that's super lame, please don't talk about it anymore. Like, how does a composting toilet work? Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you later. Bye.